Hey guys, thanks for joining me again this week. As promised, today we are talking about the new Marc Jacobs Dew Drops liquid illuminator. First of all, a slight disclaimer, I am using a different camera this week. It's one that I haven't used in quite some time, so it does cut off at some point in the middle of my demo, but it's after all of the important stuff that I promised about how I go about using the illuminator, and then I come back on and I'll just walk you through the rest. No. And then I will come back on and just walk you through the rest of what I did, so just bear with me, know that that's coming, I do apologize. As I mentioned last week, I have kind of an obsession going on right now with liquid illuminators. Obviously the highlighter trend has carried over into 2017, and again, as I mentioned last week, it's kind of gone in the direction of fantasy and make-believe. Unicorns are a rampant theme, rainbows, that kind of thing. And the whole idea is to be as bright and celestial kind of as possible, and it is really pretty, it's just not my personal style. With liquid illuminators, and I've tried several, I just find the glow a lot more natural. I find it a lot more wearable throughout the day. It's just something that suits me better. So that is why I am leaning towards those and sampling a bunch of new ones as those are coming out as well with the whole highlighter craze that is ongoing. To the Marc Jacobs, this is the first Marc Jacobs makeup product that I have purchased. And I knew that I wanted to try it as soon as I saw it, but then I went into the store and I swatched it on my hand, and literally I was completely sold on it. It is just ridiculous how glowy it is. I mean, without any effort at all. Are you kidding me with that glow? But as I said, I did still want it to look very natural, so this is how I wear it to get a natural look. For the demonstration part of this, I'm going to go in first and do the concealer before my foundation, and I'm going to be using the new NARS, I forget what this is called, it was a really long name, Soft Matte Complete Concealer, just because once I start mixing the highlighter with my foundation, sometimes I end up getting into this area and it's more difficult to go in with the concealer at the end. So we are starting with the concealer first. So for this demo, I'm going to be using a Tarte foundation that I used to really like that I found in my vanity that I kind of forgot about. It's the one that came in this little pot. It's the Hybrid Gel Foundation. So what I do is I take some foundation to start and I will put it right on my face in the places where I want to spread the most coverage from. So I typically will go from my forehead down the middle and then out onto my cheeks. But I do place it lower because the highlighter is going to be up in this area here. So if there's leftover, I just try to get that onto my neck. And then I will take the Marc Jacobs right here and I will pump it directly onto my cheeks where I'm going to want it applied. So usually right at the top of my cheekbone here, just a little pump. And you might want to tilt your face so you don't squirt it right onto your shirt. Bend there. Just like that. And then what I do is I take a flat top brush, just any foundation brush you like, and I start blending the foundation first. So I'm going to go from the center of my face outward, trying to leave that spot of the illuminator alone for now until I have most of my face blended. That way I don't pick it up on the brush and spread it all over the place. You can do that if you want sort of an all over glow, but I do like it to be at least a little bit concentrated up in the cheek. But I find that doing it this way blends it into the foundation and creates a more natural look as opposed to putting it on top of the foundation, which I also find tends to disturb the foundation and move it around a little bit. So I just prefer to do it this way. And the same thing over here, that there is the Marc Jacobs, so I'm kind of spreading around that on the bottom of my face first. And then, while it's not completely blended here yet, that's when I'm going to go in with the brush and kind of add that in more controlled motions. Do you see how just gorgeous that is spreading out right where you would want your highlighter? Oh, I love it. And then I don't always go all the way at it with my brush. I will take a damp beauty blender if I want kind of like a final blend, just for a little bit more accuracy. So funny story, my SD card filled up and my camera stopped recording at the last point that you saw. So I'm not going to abuse my skin and take everything off to start over, so I just kind of want to walk you through the rest of what I did since you saw the main portion of how I apply the Marc Jacobs illuminator. The next thing I did is I went in just with a normal setting powder, my Fit Me. I use a small brush to go in under the eye so as not to sweep it all out over the highlighted spot. And then I use a floofy powder brush, just dip right in there, and I go over the other parts of my face. I do also use a bronzer. Right now I'm still really loving the Hoola Light bronzer. So I just take a natural bristle brush and I bronze my face in a backwards 3 motion. So trying to get underneath where that highlighter was placed, the liquid highlighter. I'm gonna do that obviously on both sides. I did not apply any blush today, but the last tip that I wanted to make sure you guys did see, if you find that the Marc Jacobs is too soft of a glow for you and you kind of want to punch it up a notch without it being as intense as like an Anastasia or a Tarte highlighter, you can find something that's a little bit softer. I really love the Hourglass. This is not the ambient light powder, this is the ambient strobe lighting powder. It's definitely a little bit more highlighty than the strobe powders are. But the way that I will apply it to sort of kick it up a notch, which I've already done, but I'll do a little bit more to show you. I just take kind of a fluffy brush like this and I'll dab it in the highlight. And what I do is I go over where I put the Marc Jacobs, but also up over the brow bone and down the center of my nose. So from the other side so you can see better. Just like that. And all that does is it just puts obviously a little bit more light reflection in that area, and it also very subtly highlights the brow bone as well, so it's not, again, that just really intensified spot of highlighter right here. I know that's a really popular look, and if you love that, then that's fine. I kind of like to spread it out a little bit to other areas that the light will naturally hit to just sort of enhance the natural effect of that illuminator. So again, I'm very sorry that the camera cut off on me halfway through that, but I do hope that you enjoyed the demo and at least got a good idea, understanding of how I do wear the Dew Drops by Marc Jacobs and why I love it so, so much. That's gonna be it for this week's demonstration, this week's product. Stick around, subscribe for next week's product, which is gonna be a little bit different. This is a new hair product by L'Oreal. It is called the Extraordinary Clay Mask. This is a pre-shampoo treatment for people with oily roots. I have very thin, very fine hair, so my roots get really oily very quickly. They actually have a whole new Extraordinary Clay shampoo line out as well, but I was really intrigued by this product, so I will show you guys how I use that in next week's video. Also, if you are interested, I am working right now on a capsule wardrobe experiment, which is up on my blog, which I will pop the link onto the screen for you guys right now. If you're interested in going over to check that out, find out what a capsule wardrobe is, why I'm doing it, and what that is all about. Thank you so much for watching my video. As always, I do appreciate your time, and that'll do it. I will see you guys next week. Bye.